Soccer fans, AFC Ann Arbor's men's squad is live and on the air. Welcome to Ann Arbor High School's hallway field for the USL2 match between your AFC Ann Arbor Mighty Oak and the Michiana Lions. They were formerly the South Bend Lions last season. They're the Michiana Lions this season. Tonight's match is presented by Bank of Ann Arbor. It was Bank of Ann Arbor who's been the title sponsor of the club since the first season. It was Bank of Ann Arbor's increased investment that allowed the club to expand with the addition of their women's team in 2019. Thanks to their continued support, both our women's and men's team receive equitable support across all facets of the organization. Thank you to Bank of Ann Arbor for all you do for our club and all of Washtenaw County. As the founding member of the Anti-Racist Soccer Club Coalition, AFC Ann Arbor is leading the efforts to combat racism in our sport and community. Visit antiracist.soccerclub.com to read the club's entire 10-point plan and learn more about the coalition, which includes members such as Oakland Roots, Vermont Green FC, and Lansing Commons. With initiatives like the CLR Academy, a free youth sports sampling program promoting holistic and healthy living run by AFC Ann Arbor players, along with athletes from the University of Michigan and Eastern Michigan University. CLR Academy was created in partnership with Washtenaw's My Brother's Keeper to better serve the black and brown children across Washtenaw County. So we do want to thank you. Good game coming up today here between AFC Ann Arbor as well as Michiana Lions. Let me just try and get it so I don't get any feedback here. There we go. All right. We do want to thank all our wonderful, amazing sponsors. That includes Diaza, the team apparel partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Check out the new 2024 jerseys available at the merch booth in youth, men's, and women's sizes. Wear the jerseys the team wears. And by the way, the tree top canopy jersey is available now. A very, very slick-looking jersey. Diaza does great work. 3-in-1 Fitness, the fitness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Check out 3-in-1 Fitness on South Industrial next to Revel and Roll. Train where the team trains. Check them out at 3n1fit.com. Bank of Ann Arbor, of course, the title sponsor of AFC Ann Arbor. Wickfield Properties, the housing partner of AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank Wickfield Properties for the last 9 years of support housing the visiting players of AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank the Ann Arbor District Library for their incredible support of the Mighty Oak and all they do for the Ann Arbor community. Units Moving and Storage is the official storage partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Call Units Moving and Storage to have them set you up with your storage pod or moving needs. Visit unitstorage.com. Destination Ann Arbor and Ann Arbor Sports Commission, the tourism partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Destination Ann Arbor supports our vibrant community by promoting Ann Arbor as a destination of choice for travelers. Check them out at annarbor.org. Soccer Shots, our youth training partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Visit the kids' play area hosted by our friends from Soccer Shots. And Ann Arbor with Kids, your go-to source for Ann Arbor family fun. Find fun activities, events, deals, and more family fun at AnnArborWithKids.com. Now, for every goal that has been scored this season by AFC Ann Arbor, they are donating 3 trees to the Ann Arbor Park system. Now, that has been doubled as DTE now is joining in, and they are, as we pull this up, as they are donating as well. So now, instead of, if I pull this up, instead of 45 trees on 15 goals, it is now doubled. So it's 90 trees. Thank you to DTE for helping to support the team and their initiative to bring a lot more trees to Tree City for the bicentennial. Another great item happening today is the Ann Arbor, AFC Ann Arbor Gear Up for Good. As they're working with Gear Up for Good today for a sports equipment drive. So if you're heading towards the stadium, donate your sports and soccer gear and get $2 off the tickets at the gate. So that's Gear Up for Sports, trying to make it easier for young folk to not have to pay for the gear and be able to play the games and have everybody available to play. All right, let us talk a little bit about these two squads as we take a look at AFC Ann Arbor first. They first started off. Here we go. With a 4-1 win versus Union FC Macomb. They lost 3-0 to Midwest United. That was back on the 18th of May. There was a 2-2 draw versus Kalamazoo FC. That was back on the 22nd. Then they beat Oakland County here in the Battle of the Trees. That was a 1-0 win by AFC Ann Arbor. Taking a look at that game and what happened in it. Let's pull up the match detail there. And one lone goal for Ann Arbor, if we pull that up here, as it was Direction who had the goal at the 13th minute. Otherwise, a few yellow cards. Direction picked up a yellow card in the 51st minute. Romero picked up one in the 56th minute. And then there was one by Koresh Haj. That was under AFC Ann Arbor, who I've never seen that player before, but listed at the 68th minute. Probably just a mistake there. Looking at Oakland County, no goals for them. They had a yellow card. Yamazaki picked up a yellow card in the 10th minute. So that was that game between AFC Ann Arbor and Oakland County. Michiana, they have scored one goal thus far in this season. So AFC Ann Arbor has 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Taking a look at Michiana, they lost their first game. That was back on May 15th versus Midwest United at Midwest United. That was a 1-0 win. They scored a goal versus Flint City, but Flint City beat them on the 18th. That was 2-1. Michiana had a home game there. Then their next home game was at the 25th, and they fell 4-0 to Kalamazoo FC. So, they're coming in 0-3-0 into this game, hoping to get their second goal and get their first win on the season. And AFC Ann Arbor wanting to keep going and pick up a few more points in the Great Lakes Division. Taking a look at that match detail for Michiana. Ritchie picked up a yellow card in the 37th minute. Ramirez picked up one in the 45th minute. And Mugala picked up one in the 90th minute. Otherwise, all the scoring was on the Kalamazoo side as Smith scored in the 42nd minute. Guffroy scored in the 55th minute. Mercer scored in the 74th minute. And then Mercer got a brace scoring in the 76th minute there. So that all the scoring for that contest. Let's take a look and bring up the next home game is going to be tomorrow. That is going to be the women's squad as they'll host Midwest United. So make sure to get out. That's a 3 p.m. game. So please come on out. We'd love to see you here tomorrow for that match. Taking a look at the next 5 matches here for the men's squad. They're on the road for a pair of games on June 5th. Wednesday, they will be at Flint City for a 7 p.m. game. June 9th, that will be next Sunday. A week from tomorrow, they will be at Oakland County. That will be a 3 p.m. game. They will then return to the friendly confines of Hallway Field back on June 15th. That will be Saturday for a game versus Midwest United at 7 p.m. Then they go on the road for 2 more at June 18th. That's a Tuesday. They will be at Union FC Macomb. That will be a 6 p.m. game. And then on Sunday, June 23rd, they will be at Kalamazoo at 5 p.m. for a game versus Kalamazoo FC. Taking a look at the Great Lakes Division standings, Midwest United is up on top. They have played 6 matches, 2 more than anyone else in the division. They have 5 wins, no losses, 1 tie, 16 points, and a 2.6 points per match. Flint City is number 2. They have played 3 matches. They are 2-0-1, 7 points, and a 2.3 points per match. Kalamazoo FC is in the number 3 spot, playing 4 games. They have 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 7 points, and 1.7 points per match. AFC Ann Arbor tied with Kalamazoo FC, 4 games again, 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, 7 points, 1.7 points per match. Underneath them is Lansing City in the number 5 spot. They played 4 matches as well, 1-1, lost 1, draw 2, so they have 5 points and a 1.2 points per match. Oakland County checks in at the number 6 spot, having played only 3 games. They have 1-1, lost 2, no draws. They have a 1 point per match. The Michiana Lions, who are playing today, have played 3 games. As we said, they've lost all 3, so they have no points and no points per match. And same with Union FC Macomb, new to Great Lakes this season. They've played 5 games. They have lost all 5 of them, so no points and 0.0 points per match. So that is your Great Lakes Division standings in the USL 2. As we're coming up about 5 minutes here, let's step away for just a brief moment, and then we'll play just a slight bit of music, and we will be right back here with the starting lineups. Oh, actually, I have that. They just gave that to me, so let me go over that. Then we'll put it to the public address announcer here in a moment once the teams come out. But for Michiana, it is Ramirez starting, number 3 on the team. Number 4 on the team is Richie starting. Minzy, wearing number 6, is a starter. Porras Rodriguez, number 7, he's a starter. Roberts is a starter. Morimoto is starting, number 10 roster number. Daher, wearing number 12, starting. Mayers, wearing number 14, starting. Goldworthy, number 20, starting. Frank, number 24, starting. And Bellina, number 78, starting. The reserves, Whale, number 2, Estrada, number 5, Lopez, number 9, Kennedy, number 15, King, number 21, and O'Garo, number 22. For AFC Ann Arbor, your starting mighty 11 coming up here. Starting in goal will be Mahler. So Mahler getting the start in goal, so that is fantastic to see. Dorchin has been playing well. Mahler has been playing great. And interesting enough, Reese Mahler is actually the coach of the Dexter women's soccer team. They got a big win here versus Pioneer women's soccer. So Reese Mahler, big in the Dexter community there. So Mahler starting. McHugh, number 4, starting. Marhigina is wearing number 8 today and starting. Martinez wearing number 9 and starting. Sarabi wearing number 11 and starting. Eby wearing number 12 and starting. Durakchin, leader in goals with 3 goals for the men's squad. He is wearing number 13. Romero, wearing number 18, is starting. Valencia, wearing number 19, is starting. Drew Pearson, number 20, is starting. And Lima, number 21, is starting. The reserves are Dorchin, wearing number 0. Dos Santos, wearing number 2. Niker, wearing number 3. Nino, wearing number 6. Benford, wearing number 7. Kyle Pearson, wearing number 15, and Bruin George, wearing number 16. That is your starters. Let us, as there is a little bit of rain that's supposed to be coming out. Both squads are gathered across the way, so we'll keep it here. And in just a moment, hopefully, there we go. Perfect timing.
Here are tonight's starters for Michiana Lions. Number 3, Enrique Ramirez. Number 4, Alexander Ritchie. Number 6, Brecken Minzy. Number 7, David Mateo Torres Rodriguez. Number 8, Matthew Roberts. Number 10, Hayato Morimoto. Number 12, Eric Dreher. Number 14, Jabari Mayer. Number 20, Andrew Goldsworthy. Number 24, Frank Chiapo. In goal, number 78, J.T. Bellina. Your coaches for the Michiana Lions are Eric Castro, Jonathan Hoover, Shep Borkowski, and Julio De La Cruz. Now, let's meet the starting 11 for your Mighty Oak. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting your Mighty 11. Number 1, in goal, Reese Moore. Number 4, Orion McHugh. Number 8, Tiago Barreguina. Number 9, Salvador Martinez. Number 11, Luke Sowerby. Number 12, Will Eby. Number 13, Andrew Durakian. Number 18, Juan Manny Romero. Number 19, Marco Valencia. Number 20, Drew Pearson. Number 21, Antonio Lima. Your goalkeeper coach for AFC Ann Arbor is Lucian Popescu. Your assistant coaches are Granite Passage and Danny Dragoy. And in his 3rd year as AFC Ann Arbor's head coach, Rod Aslani.
As there is your Mighty 11 starters, as AFC Ann Arbor is in their home white kits with the Bank of Ann Arbor title sponsor on the front. Down the front, they have both a dark blue and a light blue stripe. Numbers in dark blue on the back, light blue shorts, and light blue socks. On the other side is, here is Michiana. Michiana is in black jerseys, black tops, black pants, black socks, numbers in white on the back. Trying to catch a look at the front. As soon as I did that, everyone turned away from me because that's how Murphy's Law works. But on the front, they just have a Michiana Lions logo on it. So the captains shaking hands with all the officials as we are about to get underway. As quadruple zeros up on the scoreboard. Nice photo of the starting 11 for AFC Ann Arbor. And now it's the Mighty Oak versus the Lions. The officials right at midfield. Now they split and run down. Ann Arbor is going to be going from left to right here in this opening half. Love looks like they do have numbers on the shorts, so it is going to be okay. Saying that, that's number 19, who I don't have on my roster for them starting off, kicking it off. So that bodes well for us.
AFC Ann Arbor fans, we are.
I do not see that. Okay. So a little weather coming through. It is game time temperature 74 degrees out. As there are clouds in the sky, rain is supposed to be moving this way. We're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope that it doesn't bother us too much. And hopefully the lightning stays away is the most important part for player and spectator safety. So Michiana brings it up the far wing. Down onto the near wing. That's sent down by Ramirez. Ramirez coming over. As that's chipped back. Played down, trying to move it over onto the far wing there. Picked up down the far touch line. That's played back. Is back over there trying to get to it is O'Garo. And we'll go out the far touch line. That's going to be a throw-in. O'Garo with the throw-in. Play down, trying to fire it ahead is Goldworthy. Controlled by Ann Arbor. That's sent all the way back over is Eby. Fires it over to Moeller. Moeller on to the near side. He chips that all the way down the center of the pitch. Headed back over by Mayers. Played down and right off the back of McHugh. Into the 18. McHugh touches it over to Moeller. Moeller Back over to McHugh. Up the near side of the pitch. McHugh in the defensive third. McHugh coming ahead with it. Slowly making his way now into the middle third. Gets it over. Here comes Martinez. Martinez racing down the pitch. Martinez feeds it down the near side. Here comes Direction. Direction trying to cut across to the middle of the pitch. That's stolen away by the Lions. Fired back out by Roberts into the middle third. Picked up coming down on the near wing. Here comes Porras Rodriguez down on the near touchline. Porras Rodriguez coming up the near touchline looking for a cross. Puts it into the near corner. Over for Ramirez. Ramirez into the 18. That poked away. Grabbed. And there's a shot that just goes over the crossbar. De Hare with an opportunity there that didn't miss by much. That went just to the far side. That will be a goal kick for Ann Arbor as we are approaching here into the third minute. Ball ahead. Played up the far wing. That's EB back over there. EB rolls it over to McHugh. McHugh. Excuse me, that's Ramirez. Ramirez over to McHugh. On the near wing, McHugh. Brings it up the far side of the pitch. McHugh into the middle third. Chips it all the way down into the attacking third. Down on the near touchline. Trying to keep it in his direction. And that goes out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in for Michiana. It's one of the nice, wonderful ball kids. Flips that over. Mayers with the throw-in on the near touchline. Trying to feed it ahead through the middle third. Racing. Michiana fires it all the way back deep. Porras Rodriguez into the near corner. Trying to get it as that fired all the way back over. And out the far touchline. That will be Ann Arbor with the ball is Drew Pearson with the throw-in on the far touchline. Drew Pearson gets it over to Ramirez, gets it over to EB. EB feeds it over. Barhiguinha. Now over to McHugh. McHugh coming up the near side to Sarby. Sarby on the near touchline. Back to McHugh. McHugh in his defensive third. Comes up the middle of the pitch. Now moves it over as EB gets it back to McHugh. McHugh comes up the near wing. McHugh trying to race into the middle third. Moves it over to Romero. Romero slides it over to EB. EB up the far side of the pitch. EB right into the middle third on the far touchline. Racing down with it. Drew Pearson trying to get past. That knocked down. Controlled as Michiana tries to bring it the other direction. Barhiguinha trying to steal that away. Comes all the way back. Fired by EB over to McHugh. McHugh just on the edge of his own defensive third. McHugh brings it into the middle third, racing down the near wing. That chipped, trying to get to it. Martinez heads towards the middle of the pitch into the attacking third. Martinez, and knocked away down onto the near wing. Here comes Michiana as they move it into the middle third. That launched all the way down into the attacking third for Michiana, but out the near touchline. Sowerby with the throw-in. Sowerby over to McHugh. McHugh over to EB. EB brings it up the far wing. EB stops, looks over to his right, moves it over to Barhiguinha. Back to EB. EB back to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha just on the edge of the middle third. Back to McHugh. McHugh all the way over to EB. EB races down the far side of the pitch. EB chips it ahead. Racing back to get it is that's headed away. Now blasted out by Frank. And out the far touchline. Quick throwing back over there by Ogaro. Ball grabbed. Played ahead over there by Goldworthy. And on that far touchline and out the far touchline. Drew Pearson with the throw in for Ann Arbor. Drew Pearson trying to move it ahead. Romero had it. Romero into the attacking third. That knocked away by the defense. Headed back by Ramirez. Back into the middle third. Trying to get it to it. Romero. Now battling, grabbing at Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha over to Sowerby. Sowerby up the near touchline. Sowerby into the attacking third. Moves it over to Martinez. That knocked away. Trying to move it over to Valencia. That ball stolen away, but now back. Ann Arbor controls it on the far side of the pitch. Back over to EB on his own side of the middle third. EB over to McHugh. McHugh just inside the middle third on the Ann Arbor side. McHugh bringing it ahead here in the 6th minute. Scoreless so far. McHugh gets it to Sowerby. Sowerby up on the near touchline. Racing over Martinez. Martinez trying to get around. Challenge there. Martinez working through traffic. Gets it back to Romero. Romero right at midfield. Over to Barhiguinha. Now picking up. Here comes McHugh. McHugh over midfield, over onto the far side of the pitch to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson into the attacking third. Drew Pearson trying to get it to Lima. Lima, top of the attacking third, over to Sowerby down on the near touchline. Sowerby trying to bring it ahead with a cross. Oh, just missing a direction with a beautiful head that just didn't connect. There's a shot that got blocked from the far wing as Valencia took a chance, and that got deflected out the end line. That is going to be a corner for Ann Arbor as Lima to take the corner. So far, again, they're mentioning here that the goals for trees, it has been 3 goals per tree. It is now, oh, that shot just came to the near side, just wide. DTE has doubled the goals for trees, so 6 goals for every trees. 90 goals, or 90 trees so far, earned by AFC Ann Arbor to donate to the Ann Arbor Parks. That comes over to Mayers. Mayer up, moves it over to Ramirez. Ramirez back to Mayers as that's launched all the way down. Controlled by McHugh just inside of his own defensive third. McHugh brings it ahead. McHugh over to EB. EB just in the middle third. Over to Pearson. Back to EB. EB right up the middle of the pitch, over to Romero. Romero finds Sowerby on the near touchline. Sowerby trying to get it ahead. That went right off of Ramirez. Throwing for Sowerby. Sowerby gets it back over to McHugh. McHugh over to EB. EB again just down on the far wing of the middle third. EB now arcs it down, trying to get it over to Direction. Direction coming down the far touchline, and that is going to be offside. Not by much, but offside. That's going to go back over to Michiana. We're in the 9th minute here at Hallway Field. Scoreless so far between the Michiana Lions and your AFC Ann Arbor Mighty Oak. Bring that ball back to kick it away as Goldworthy has it on the far wing. Goldworthy rolls it over. Now Mayers has it. Mayers trying to feed it through the middle third, trying to race over Ramirez into the near corner. Ramirez putting on the Jets, keeps it in. Now McHugh steals it away. Over to Sowerby. Sowerby sends it to Valencia, back to McHugh. McHugh trying to get out of trouble in that far corner. That will go out the end line off of Michiana. That will be a goal kick for Ann Arbor. Moeller gets the ball set on the 6. Moeller moves it over to McHugh. McHugh up the middle of the pitch as we are in the 10th minute here at Hallway Field. Scoreless so far. McHugh moves it over to EB. EB over to Pearson. Pearson trying to come up. Drew Pearson up the far touchline, knocked right back over to EB. EB in his own defensive third. EB over to Romero. Romero now looks up, now switches direction over to the far wing. Moves that back over to EB. EB brings it ahead. EB into the middle third. EB back over to Romero. Romero just inside the middle third, launches it over onto the near touchline for Sowerby. Sowerby has it there. Sowerby trying to avoid pressure back there from Poros Rodriguez. Collected there. Romero back over to McHugh. McHugh over to Sowerby. Sowerby sends it over to EB. EB coming up the far side of the pitch. EB into the middle third. EB on that far wing, back over to Sowerby. Sowerby in the middle of the pitch. Sowerby approaching midfield. Sowerby trying to move it ahead. That grab, Barhiguinha feeds it all the way into the near corner, and that will go out the touchline just a little ahead of the attackers, and that will be a throw-in for Michiana here in the 11th minute. Scoreless so far. Ramirez with the throw-in on the near touchline. Ramirez tries to get it in. Romero pops it up high, and that will go out the near touchline. Porres Rodriguez was right next to it. And that's a throw in there by Mayers. Mayers moves it back over to Roberts. Roberts cross the pitch, trying to move it ahead. Now grabbed by DeHare. DeHare And knocked down. Good job by Ann Arbor trying to get to Lima. That rocketed back by Mayers. And we'll go all the way out the end line, and that'll be a goal kick for Ann Arbor as we head into the 12th minute here at Hallway Field. Scoreless so far, 0-0. Moeller quickly moves it over to McHugh. McHugh heads up the center of the pitch. McHugh makes his way into the middle third. McHugh now rockets it all the way, throwing it down the far wing, racing back, trying to get to it is Valencia. Valencia in the far corner, but that pulled away and blasted by Goldworthy all the way down and out the far touchline. That'll be a throw in for Ann Arbor. So that's going to be grabbed and rolled over by Belina up the near side of the pitch. Now over to Ramirez. Ramirez gets it back. Mayers trying to avoid pressure. Is knocking that out. Lima off of Mayers. Now Martinez. Nope, Lima with the throw in. Played down. Lima has it. Lima trying to move it over into the near corner. Martinez trying to send it across as Romero found Martinez, but that out the end line, that will be a goal. That will be a goal kick. Belina grab that ball and get it set on the 6. No, they're going to say offside. Mayers with it in the near corner of his own defensive third. That arced all the way down into the middle third, headed up by Higuina. Now trying to chip it over. Direction as launched. Martinez trying to get to it as Romero or Valencia ended up spilled, and that's a yellow card. So yellow card to the Michiana Lions, as I believe that was number 14, Mayers, who picked up the yellow card. That is going to be a free kick here in a place of menace. So it is Mayers who picked up the yellow card. So this is going to be a free kick in a place of menace for Ann Arbor. 3-person wall in front. So we are in the 14th minute here. Scoreless so far. Ann Arbor would love to break open the scoring here on this set piece. Lima gets the ball, moves it over, direction. Gets it set up about 10 yards in the attacking third. So Lima has it set up. As that's deflected, that was direction on it. Over to Lima. Lima racing ahead as that was a good block by Michiana. There's a block into the 18, but that ball plucked up by Belina. Over on to the near wing, grab by Ramirez. Ramirez brings it up the near side of the pitch. Ramirez moves it over, picked up there by Porras Rodriguez. Porras Rodriguez out the near touchline. That is going to be a throw-in on the near touchline as Mayers comes over for the throw-in here in the 15th minute. Still scoreless. Launched ahead, headed up. Back, top of the attacking third, then lifted over by DeHare all the way over onto the far wing. Brought ahead, that launched all the way into the far corner. Picked up and knocked away by by Romero. Fired down the far touchline, trying to grab it as Lima. Lima battling back there. Now that tip back by Valencia. Lima up the far touchline. Knocked away, dispossessed by the Lions, and there's going to be a free kick for Michiana as legs got tangled up. Michiana has a free kick inside the attacking third over onto the just inside the far touchline by about 4 yards. 2 Michiana players there by the ball. So that's arced down, knocked away. Good job by Martinez. Tip back. as Michiana trying to turn on it. Back over there is Ugaro. Onto the near touchline, bringing ahead is Frank. Frank trying to get across. That goes out the near touchline. There'll be a throw-in by Michiana as we come into the 17th minute here at Hallway Field. Scoreless so far between Michiana and your AFC Ann Arbor Mighty Oak. Mayers with the throw-in on the near touchline. Mayers launches it towards the end line. Knocked down. Now fired back into the middle third. Racing up the pitch trying to get to that. Grabbing it is Orgaro. All the way over to Goldworthy. Goldworthy trying to bring it back over. Goldworthy sends it back over to Frank. Frank launches it through the middle third. Trying to move it over to Roberts. That knocked down. Good job to pull that away by Romero. Here comes Martinez, fires it back deep. Valencia fires it back deep. And that picked up over onto the far wing. Michiana with it. Michiana moves it back over to Goldworthy. Goldworthy now rolls it over onto the near wing, over to Mayers. Mayers up the near side of the pitch. That blasted into the middle third and out the far touchline. Drew Pearson with the throw-in on the far touchline as we're in the 18th minute. And back over to Eby. Eby on the far wing. Eby over to Romero. Romero right in the middle third, trying to avoid pressure by Morimoto. Back over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha trying to launch it through the middle third. That knocked away by Mayers. Played down by the Lions. Back over to Goldworthy. Goldworthy launches it down the far side of the pitch as trying to get to it. That headed into the 18. Plucked up by Moeller. Excellent job by Moeller. Moves it over. Good defense by Ann Arbor. McHugh has it. Centered up. McHugh coming up the middle of the pitch. Sends it down the far touchline. Trying to work his way past Pearson. Pearson comes to the center of the pitch. Pearson making it into the attacking third. That knocked away. Back there, Frank knocking it all the way back. Sarby has it. Sarby blasting it. And that deflects out. That will be a corner kick, as that went off of Frank out the end line. So another big set piece here in the 19th minute for Ann Arbor as Lima gets it set in the near corner. Still scoreless so far. Lima feeds it, headed down into the 18, now taken away. Headed up the other direction is DeHare. DeHare feeds it down on the far touchline. DeHare again with the challenge that goes out the far touchline. That will be throw-in on that far touchline. Goldworthy has it. Goldworthy will leave it over there. So it's launched down the far touchline, trying to pop it up. Played back over Valencia, trying to peel that away. Now up the far touchline, Michiana blasted all the way back into the defensive third for Ann Arbor. Moeller has it. Moeller will pick that up in the 18, slide it over to McHugh. McHugh up the middle of the pitch. McHugh looks to his left. Now McHugh rolls it over to Eby. Eby has it on the far wing. Eby into the middle third. Eby wafts it all the way down the pitch. Goldworthy heads it right back into the middle third. Popped up by DeHare. Now blasted the other direction by Ann Arbor. Played down, trying to get to it. That launched ahead. Racing, here comes Direction, and a good play. That will go out the near touchline. Goldworthy stealing. And a perfect opportunity by Direction. Sarby with the throw-in on the near touchline as we're in the 20th minute here. At Hallway Field, no score yet, is bringing it ahead. Martinez trying to get across. Martinez trying to get past two defenders. That fired by Lima, and just back behind Martinez. Now Romero trying to steal it away, but that fired all the way back. Racing back to get it. McHugh has it, feeds it into the 18 for Moeller. Moeller trying to avoid pressure coming over to Eby. Eby down on the far side of the pitch. Picked up by Pearson there. Here comes Ann Arbor down a far touchline, trying to lift it ahead into the far corner. Racing back, trying to get to it is Drew Pearson, but that goes out the far touchline. Drew Pearson with the throw-in on the far touchline. Back over to Romero. Romero trying to move it up the pitch. Romero chips it over to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson back to Romero. Romero, as he gets run up the back side of his legs, he goes down. That'll be a free kick for Ann Arbor. here in the 21st minute. Still scoreless. Ann Arbor quickly back over to EB. EB moves it over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha rolls it over to McHugh. McHugh coming up the near wing. McHugh arcs it into the attacking third. Is now go right into the 18. Plucked up there by Belina. Belina has it in the 18. Trying to get everyone to move a little further down the pitch before he sends it away. High up. Played down by Ann Arbor in the middle third. Now here comes the Lions launching it as that's poked away. Trying to bring it ahead. Roberts lofts it into the attacking third. That goes all the way. Picked up by Moeller on the edge of the 18. Moeller over to EB. Rolls it over to EB. EB brings it up the far wing. EB over to Romero on the center of the pitch. Romero in his own defensive third. Now trying to get to the middle third. Chips it back over to McHugh. McHugh. Now Lima with it right on the edge of the middle third. Lima chipped over, grabbed over to Sarby. Sarby on the near touchline. Sarby moves it ahead. That launched all the way down. Martinez trying to get to it. That grab fired over as that will be played down. We're in the 23rd minute here at Hallway Field. No score as of yet. Throwing on the far touchline as that comes all the way back over to EB. EB moves it over to McHugh. McHugh on his own side of the middle third. McHugh looks to his left. McHugh and moves it over to Barhiguinha. Back to McHugh. McHugh in that middle third. McHugh back over to Barhiguinha on the near wing. Barhiguinha back over to McHugh from Lima. McHugh comes over onto the far side of the pitch, moves it over. It's brought ahead by EB. Now Romero trying to work his way free. Romero battling as Roberts with the big challenge there. And it ends up a free kick as quick talk there with Roberts. Moved over to Sarby. Sarby up over the center line as that's fed all the way down onto the far wing. Drew Pearson moves it over. Valencia back to Drew Pearson into the far corner looking for a cross as that will be out the end line. Lima for the corner.
2024 jerseys available from Merch Booth in youth, men's, and women's sizes. Wear the jerseys the team wears. Stop by the Merch Booth for jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, pins, and other
Lima gets it set here in the far corner. Here, approaching the 25th minute. Right foot into it, high. Down onto the near wing, trying to keep it in there. Nice job by Martinez. Martinez looking for the cross. As that down direction. Trying to get it, but that plucked up by Belina. Belina has it in the 18th. Belina rolls it over to Goldworthy. Goldworthy up the far side of the pitch. Goldworthy stops there. Goldworthy down the far touchline. That will go out the far touchline. AFC Ann Arbor with the throw-in. That ball quickly back over EB. Over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha up the center of the pitch. Barhiguinha over to Lima. Lima just at midfield. Moves it back over to McHugh. McHugh in the middle third on his own side of the middle third. McHugh heads towards the center of the pitch. That's grabbed over there by Romero. Romero over to Sarby. Sarby back over to McHugh in his own defensive third. McHugh brings it back into the middle third up the center of the pitch. McHugh moves it over midfield. That knocked down, but trying to get to it. Barhiguinha picked up over onto the far wing, rolled over, and sent back by Barhiguinha. Now Sowerby has it. Sowerby over to McHugh. McHugh over to EB. EB coming up the far side of the pitch. That launch quickly trying to get it as coming ahead. That is offside. Again, not by much. Ann Arbor trying to time that long service, trying to get it deep in the far corner. Let Valencia Duraction get a jump on it. But offside the call here. Goldworthy moves folks down the pitch. He'll go over and take the kick. Scoreless so far here as we approach the 27th minute at Hallway Field. Goalworthy up the far wing over to DeHare. Launching it, chipped down. Is that set? All the way into the 18. Grab by Moeller there. Moeller rolls it over to McHugh. McHugh over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha back to McHugh. Now McHugh feeds it over to EB. EB up the far side of the pitch. EB. And launches it into the middle third for Lima. Lima trying to get past midfield. Lima, trying to send it deep for Martinez, but that knocked away. Good play back there by Mayers. All the way back, coming ahead with it. Here comes Poros Rodriguez. And we'll go all the way over across the pitch and out the far touchline. That'll be a throw-in by Ann Arbor as Drew Pearson with it there. Drew Pearson into Barhiguinha. Now Drew Pearson moves it into the middle third. Knocked back, headed over. Now Goldworthy has it on his own side of the middle third. Pressure back there coming by Darakjic. Controlled as Frank gets it towards midfield. Now played down. Chipped by Mayers as that will go out the near touchline. Romero with the quick throw-in over to Martinez. Martinez back to Romero. Romero trying to dribble up the pitch, moves it over to Sarby. Sarby on the near wing. Sarby comes across the top of the attacking third, trying to get that through space, but knocked away by Michiana. Now fed over onto the far wing, trying to work his way through his direction. That blasted, knocked down, chipped by out the far touchline by Goldworthy. Good save by Bellina. Ann Arbor will try and put it right back on net. That ball ahead, moved down is Romero with a challenge. Picked up down the far side of the pitch. Romero trying to move it over to direction, but that picked up by Bellina. Bellina in the 18. So we're in the 29th minute, still scoreless here from Hallway Field. Bellina rolls it over to Goldworthy. Goldworthy trying to move it ahead. Good challenge by Lima. That is going to be a whistle, and that's going to be a free kick there. So Goldworthy will take that right at the top of the defensive third. Quick kick there as Morimoto moves it back over to Goldworthy. Goldworthy all the way over onto the near side to Mayers. Mayers, good challenge back there, trying to keep it in. His valiant attempt by Martinez couldn't quite keep it in the near touchline. Mayers with the throw in here. Mayers lofts it over. Sarby heads it up. Now Martinez pops it up in the air with his head. Down on the near touchline for Ramirez. Ramirez feeds it ahead. It's played down, grabbed as good job by Eby to feed it over to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson cuts towards the center of the pitch. Over midfield, Drew Pearson launches it back. Lima trying to get to it, but that knocked away by Bellina. All the way back towards midfield, headed down there by Morimoto. Played back over now, sent up the near side of the pitch to Ramirez, stolen away by Sowerby. Sowerby comes up the near wing. Sowerby trying to race deep into the attacking third, heads back up pitch. Sowerby trying to get that away. His big challenge by Ramirez, stealing it away. Now back the other direction is Roberts. Down on the near side of the pitch, trying to move it over to Poros Rodriguez, and that one just out of his reach. Throw in by Barhiguinha, back over to McHugh. McHugh moves it over on the far wing to Eby. Eby bringing up the far side of the pitch into the middle third. Eby gets it over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha moves it over midfield down the near wing and up the near touchline to Sarby. Sarby launches it, coming in. Here comes Lima into the edge of the 18 as that cross knocked away and playing it down the near touchline, stolen away. Here comes Michiana as that right out the near touchline, trying to move it ahead to Poros Rodriguez, and then just off of his foot out the near touchline. Throw in here as Sarby gets his boot tied back up. And moved in, now coming ahead. Sarby gets it back. Sarby trying to launch it, played down back over to Lima. Lima trying to get some room to work. Lima trying to turn on it, that chipped away. Sarby moves it back. Whistle there, as that is going to be Michiana's kick just outside the 18. Here is we're in the 31st minute. Scoreless so far here at Hallway Field. Michiana ready to send it away from their defensive third. Quick over to Mayers. Mayers up the near touchline. And moved ahead over to Ramirez and down. That is going to be a free kick for Michiana. Mayers has it just shy of midfield on his own side of the middle third. Just inside the near touchline. We're in the 32nd minute here. Mayer all the way across, trying to get it over to Goldworthy. Goldworthy has it right at the into his defensive third, trying to get to it. His direction, that knocked away by Valencia out the far touchline. Good attempt, good challenge, but that sent right back in. Headed by Ann Arbor. Lima trying to get to it, that popped away. Now arced the other direction by Frank. As that's headed over, played down. Flip back to McHugh. McHugh has his own defensive third. McHugh lofts it all the way down the pitch. That headed back by Goldworthy, now knocked down by Lima. Goldworthy launches it right over midfield, getting it ahead to Poros Rodriguez, and there's a collision. Romero goes down. Poros Rodriguez and Romero got tied up. Poros Rodriguez slow to get up, but looks like he's all right. We're happy about that. We don't want to see any of these wonderful players injured. That ball will be just on the Michiana side of, or right at midfield. Frank set. Over onto the far wing to Goldworthy. Goldworthy up the far touchline, trying to get past, battle back over there. Still trying to get that down. That is going to be Ann Arbor ball. It's a good battle back over there. Ann Arbor. Over to Eby. Eby over to McHugh. McHugh bringing it up the center of the pitch into the middle third. McHugh stops, feeds it back over to Eby. Eby trying to avoid quick pressure over there on the far touchline. As that's launched ahead, trying to get to Lima. Lima coming down into the edge of the 18. Lima trying to cut towards the end line, looking for a cross. Lima, as that goes out the end line. Here in the 34th minute. So corner coming up here. Lima getting it set here in the 34th minute. We do want to thank the Ann Arbor District Library for their incredible support of AFC Ann Arbor and all of Washtenaw County. Chipped into the 18, headed up high towards midfield, now headed the other direction back there by Drew Pearson. Volleyed back, Drew Pearson again heads it over and headed back into the middle third as it's almost like a volleyball heading match. Played over onto the near wing, Ramirez with it. That goes out the near touchline. That is going to be a throw-in for Michiana. So we are in the 35th minute here from Hallway Field. No score as of yet. Mayers moves it in, trying to bring it ahead. Over there's Roberts. And it's going to be a free kick. Roberts moves it into the middle third, racing ahead with it. As here comes DeHare. DeHare into, as that is going to be a yellow card on Romero. As Romero thought he had a slide tackle to get the ball and not the player, but down went the Michiana player, and that is going to be a free kick. As Sarabi flips it back. That is going to be in the very top of the attacking third. Roberts. So Romero picks up the yellow card. He's in the book. Again, here comes a dangerous kick here as Mayers and Roberts back. Now Roberts raises his left hand. Roberts, right foot into it as that's down and grabbed. Excellent job by Moeller in traffic to dive down and pick it up. Moeller rolls it down the far wing. Here comes Ann Arbor into the middle third. Chipped ahead by Drew Pearson. Played down, controlled. Now fed ahead by Roberts. Over. And it's grabbed and slid back over to Mayers. Mayers. Over midfield, Mayers. Trying to move it as that's picked up back in their own defensive third by Romero. Romero go over to Moeller. Moeller in the 18. Moeller Slides it over on the far wing. Is bringing it up is Eby. Eby stops there just top of his own defensive third. Eby over to Sarby. Sarby on the center of the pitch. Sarby arcs it ahead. That down the near touchline, trying to get to Martinez. That headed back over by Ramirez. Played down, grabbing it. Porras Rodriguez with it, but that sent. In the 18 with it is Bellina. Bellina launches it all the way down the pitch. Is back to get it is Eby. Eby trying to get away from Porras Rodriguez. Now here comes Sarby. Sarby down the near touchline. Sarby rolls it over, trying to move it over to Martinez. That knocked out the near touchline. And will be a throw in by Ann Arbor here in the 37th minute. Scoreless so far at Hallway Field on a cloudy evening. Pulled ahead, trying to get to it is Martinez. Played back over by Frank. Now racing into the 18 is that sent by Bellina down the far side of the pitch, out the far touchline. Should be a throw-in for Ann Arbor. Drew Pearson has it over on the far touchline. Drew Pearson over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha back over to Pearson on the far touchline. Drew Pearson trying to get past traffic, feeds it. They'll go all the way down in. Out the end line. Over to get it. Bellina with it. Bellina will head back over, get it set at the 6 and kick it away. Bellina has it set. Steps back, gets some room to work. Now Bellina lofts it down the pitch onto the far wing as that was headed up by Drew Pearson right off the back of Lima. Now launched by Drew Pearson as that will roll back down into the 18. Bellina has it there. Bellina taking his time, now chips it down the pitch as that will go out the near touchline. So we have throw in as Sarby has it on the near touchline. Sarby gets it back. Sarby trying to move it ahead and down. Barhiguinha collided with. He goes down to the pitch here in the 39th minute. And it is going to be a free kick, quickly getting it going. McHugh lofts it all the way over onto the far wing. Drew Pearson trying to work through traffic. Drew Pearson trying to feed it ahead over to direction, but that's stolen away. Is up the far side of the pitch. That's a collision and a big challenge right at midfield. As Frank getting caught up with Valencia there. Throw in by Michiana. That deflected all the way down. That will go out the far touchline. Another throw in for Michiana. So we're in the 40th minute here, still scoreless at Hallway Field. Lights are on here on a cloudy evening. June 1st. Can't believe we're already there. We do want to thank Diaza, the amazing kit provider of AFC Ann Arbor. If you want to get those kits, just show up at the match and you can buy these wonderful Diaza kits, including the tree canopy kit. That's available now. That ball all the way over onto the near side of the pitch. Grab by Romero. Romero coming ahead with, Ramirez coming ahead with it. Ramirez has it knocked away. Picked up there. Porras Rodriguez down the near touchline, and that will be a whistle. Ann Arbor with the ball on the near touchline. Sowerby moves it in. Romero trying to get away as Porras Rodriguez trying to separate him. McHugh gets it over to Moeller. Moeller launches it down the pitch. And headed back the other direction by Roberts. Now played ahead by Ann Arbor. Here comes Martinez. Martinez trying to avoid pressure back there by Morimoto. Martinez back over to Romero. Romero gets it ahead to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha over on the far side of the pitch, trying to make his way over. That's Valencia. Valencia trying to work his way past two defenders. That will go all the way over on the far touchline. Picked up there. Michiana has it here in the 41st minute. Grab, knocked down, and that goes out the far touchline. It's going to be an Ann Arbor throw-in into the far corner, looking for a cross as that's sent back. Poked by Drew Pearson, all the way back over by Higuina, over to Romero. Romero, top of the attacking third. Romero, all the way over to Martinez. Martinez trying to work his way past pressure. Martinez trying to go deep in the 18. That knocked away by Ramirez. Ramirez sends it right back out. That tipped down the near touchline. Sowerby trying to hold it in. As there's a whistle, and I think they're going to say that that went out the touchline. Right just over midfield. That's going to be a throw-in. Here in the 42nd minute. Mayers has it back on the near touchline. Mayers with the throw-in. Mayers. Stolen away, bringing it up the pitch. Trying to work his way through his Romero. Romero moves it over to Lima. Lima all the way across the pitch. Over to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson trying to bring it into the attacking third. Drew Pearson down the far touchline, grabbing at Valencia, and that goes out the end line. That will be a goal kick as Belina will grab it. Get it set at the 6. Here in the 43rd minute at Hallway Field. Still scoreless. Belina has it back. Yeah, thank you very much to 3-in-1 Fitness, the fitness partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Back for the kick. Belina puts his right foot into it, launches it down onto the far wing. That headed back over. Now AFC Ann Arbor heads it back. Launched by Roberts. That'll come back into the defensive third as racing over, trying to get to it. Moeller down and grabs it as it popped off. Moeller dove down, popped off of him, up, and Moeller popped up to get it. As that ball bounced off of him up in the air, Moeller able to grab it there. Here it comes. EB, up the far wing. EB trying to work in there versus DeHare. DeHare coming up to challenge. EB arcs it all the way across the pitch. Over on the near touchline to Sowerby. Sowerby moves it back over to McHugh. McHugh in his own defensive third. Here in the 44th minute at Hallway Field. Still scoreless as EB has it. EB up the center of the pitch. EB launches it all the way down as racing back trying to get to it is Pearson into the far corner. That popped up very high by O'Garo. Played down, now launched by Goldworthy up into the middle third. Played off the body by Sowerby. Sowerby trying to get to it. That's stolen away. Trying to spin with it. Romero. Romero goes down as Romero and DeHare got tied up. Romero down on the pitch. That will be a free kick here. Just inside the middle third. Now Sowerby quickly over, but a whistle. They'll have him re-kick. Just making sure everybody's set. Sowerby looks to his left, his right. Now Sowerby rolls it ahead. That grab. Back over to Sowerby. To Martinez. Martinez on the near wing. Martinez gets it over to McHugh. McHugh arcs it down the far side of the pitch. Played down back over there by trying to move it over is Pearson. Pearson trying to get to it past two defenders. Pearson looking for the cross. That knocked out and earning a corner is Pearson battling in along that end line. Lima over for the corner. Quickly up to Pearson. Pearson on the far side of the pitch into the 18. And knocked away as Goldworthy got in the way of it. Then out the end line. That's going to be another corner. Lima back over into the far corner. As we are now in stoppage time in the first half, scoreless so far. Here in the 46th minute, that headed up over the crossbar. That'll be all the way back. 1 minute of stoppage time as that'll roll all the way over the hill. Back behind the end zone. Someone's going to have to go searching for that ball at some point in time. Belina again gets it set at the 6. We're in stoppage time, a mere minute of stoppage time. Still scoreless. Both squads would love to get the scoring started. Right foot into it by Belina. Over, headed, down. Now launched the other direction by Michiana. Play down, trying to get it away from DeHare. As a player down, Romero down, as he's on the far side of the middle third. Romero in some pain. Trainer comes out to take a look at him. DeHare picks up a yellow card, so he goes in the book. Romero being attended to. As they will keep on working on him. We hope he'll be all right. Again, we do want to thank Bank of Ann Arbor, the title sponsor of AFC Ann Arbor. We want to thank Bank of Ann Arbor for their continued support. Bank of Ann Arbor is here to help. We want to thank Wickfield Properties, the official housing partner of AFC Ann Arbor. They have, we want to thank Wickfield Properties for the 9 years of support in housing the visiting AFC Ann Arbor players. Romero is up over there, being attended to. He looks like he's going to be all right. We're glad to see that. Again, don't want any of these wonderful players injured. So, EB with it back over there. Good round of applause for the injured player up. Now EB back. EB over to McHugh, and that will do it for the first half. At the end of the first half, it is 0-0. AFC Ann Arbor and the Michiana Lions all knotted up, as both teams will really hope to get the scoring started off in the second half. Well, let's play a little bit of music, and we'll come back and see if we can get you some scoreboard report and more. You're watching AFC Ann Arbor, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. 0-0 at the end of the first. Down to 72 degrees. And now for the USL 2 intermission scoreboard report as Almenden FC beat Marion FC Legends back on the 29th. Also on the 29th, it was a 1-1 tie between Christos FC and Virginia Beach. Tampa Bay United fell to Sarasota Paradise. Sarasota Paradise 2-0 over Tampa Bay. It was Swan City FC with a 3-0 win over St. Petersburg FC. Miami AC with a 1-0 win over Weston FC. Also on the 29th, it was Davis Legacy SC with a 2-1 win over Academia SC. It was 3-2 win by AC Connecticut over the Albany Rush. It was a 1-0 win by Seacoast United over the Boston Bolts. 3-2 win by Hudson Valley over Cedar Stars. Also on the 29th, it was Chicago City 3 and Chicago Dutch Lions 0. It was Kings Hammer 1 and the Dayton Dutch Lions 0. Ballard FC with a 4-0 win over FC Olympia. It was RKC Third Coast with a 3-1 win over Minneapolis City SC. Nona FC with a 5-0 win over Brevard SC. It was Reading United with a 7-1 win over Philadelphia. It was a 3-0 win by Ocean City Nor'easters over Real Central NJ. And still on the, trying to get the website to work a little bit better, as it won't scroll down for me. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, as it's a field inside of the field. It was, move that up, Salem City with a 1-1 draw with North Carolina FC. It was a 2-1 win by AMSG FC over Southern California. It was 1-1 draw between Ironbound SC and Staten Island ASC. Also on the 29th, it was Toledo Villa with a 1-0 win over FC Buffalo. It was a 1-1 draw between United PDX and Lane United FC. 2-2 draw between Wake City, or Wake FC, and the Charlotte Eagles. It was a 1-1 draw between Brave FC and Brookhouse FC. Charlotte Independence fell 1-0 to South Carolina United. It was a 2-1 win by Midwest United FC over Kalamazoo FC. Take a look at the next list here. Still on the 29th, it was FC Motown STA with a 1-1 draw versus Morris Elite. North Virginia FC fell to Lionsbridge 1-0. It was 6-0 Peoria City over Siena. It was the Twin City Toucans falling to Corpus Christi 3-0. It was a 3-3 draw between Tucson and the Arizona Arsenal. 1-0 win by River Light over Des Moines Menace. It was the AHFC Royals with a 3-2 win over the Hill County Lobos. That starting off the May 30th action. On May 31st, it was Albion SC versus who beat New Mexico United 2-1. It was a 4-2 win by Thunder Bay Chill over Bavarian United SC. West Virginia United beat Tobacco Road FC 2-1. It was a 1-0 win by Utah United over Salt Lake City SC. 5-0 win by the Western Mass Pioneers over Blackrock FC. 5-0 win by Southern Soccer Academy, topping the Birmingham Legion. San Francisco City, that was earlier today, beat Davis Legacy 1-0. Also earlier today, Northern Virginia beat Christos 5-1. It was a 0-0 draw between Pathfinder and the Boston Bolts, and no other scores reported as of yet. So that is your intermission scoreboard report for USL 2. Here, we're counting down about 2 minutes and 16 seconds left before we head into the second. It is 0-0 here between the Michiana Lions and your AFC Ann Arbor Mighty Oak. We'll be right back after this music. Bring that down as we are about to get underway for second half action here. 0-0 is the score between AFC Ann Arbor and the Michiana Lions. Let's see if we can get a little crowd noise here. Just didn't want my mic to get inundated. I want to appreciate AFC Ann Arbor for playing me a little happy birthday during the intermission. As it was a couple days ago, I was broadcasting Pioneer Women's Soccer versus Skyline. Sadly, Pioneer Women's Soccer could not get past. It was a 1-0 win by Skyline. Skyline women have won the division, the district. And up as they beat Saline 1-0 today. All the way back as that will roll. Moeller will grab it there. Reese Moeller moving it over onto the far wing. Bringing it up there is McHugh. McHugh into the middle third. McHugh stops there, rolls it back. Now over to Eby. Eby brings it up the near side of the pitch. Eby trying to feed it through traffic. That's sent right back over to Eby. Eby. Romero to his left, rolls it over. That grab by Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson all the way over on the far wing. That brought up by McHugh. McHugh launches it back over to Eby. Eby right in the center of the pitch in the middle third. Now he launches it down the far wing. Trying to come ahead with it there is Sowerby. Sowerby heads in towards the middle of the pitch, trying to get it over to Valencia. Valencia trying to work his way past, trying to get the direction and down, diving. As Bellina able to grab that. Bellina heads out to the edge of the 18. Looks to his left, his right, as he motions to get everyone a little further down the pitch. Now Bellina sets it on the pitch. And he'll send it all the way down to the near touchline. That headed back by Drew Pearson, then launched. And he'll go all the way back deep as Mueller will come outside of the 18. He'll launch that the other direction, and that will go out the near touchline. That'll be a throw-in by Michiana, right in the middle third. O'Garo with the throw-in on the near touchline. O'Gara lofts it as that's headed back. Right outside the 18, rolled over onto the far wing. That's Sowerby with it. Sowerby back over to McHugh. McHugh comes up the middle of the pitch. McHugh trying to get it out of the defensive third. McHugh gets it back from Barhiguinha. Now over. Sowerby taking his time up the far side of the pitch. Sowerby back over to McHugh. McHugh now comes into the middle third. McHugh moves it over onto the near wing, over to Eby. Eby back to McHugh. McHugh back in his defensive third, gets it over to Sowerby. Sowerby heads up the far wing. Sowerby steps back, now rolls it forward. That knocked down, trying to get to it. Valencia on the far touchline, trying to move it ahead. Here comes Lima. Lima racing down to get it, as that will go out as Lima in direction right there, and that's going to be offside, the call. So that will come back out halfway out of the defensive third. Here in the 48th minute, 0-0 is the score between the Michiana Lions and your AFC Ann Arbor team. And it's rocketed back by Mayers down towards the center of the pitch, coming over onto the near wing, and sent right back into the 18 over to Mahler. Mahler over to Eby. Eby brings it. Comes out of his own defensive third. Eby fires it down on the far side of the pitch. And brought over. Sowerby gets it right back over to McHugh. McHugh into the middle third. McHugh coming towards midfield. Moves it over to Eby. Eby up the near wing. Eby right over midfield. Eby getting it. And that just a little miscommunication as Martinez was heading down the pitch. And that pass just kind of came to his left. Knocked by Barhiguian. Taken away. All the way back into the top of the 18. Grabbed there by Muller. Muller over to Sowerby. Sowerby up the far wing. Sowerby right back over to McHugh. McHugh rolls it back over to Sowerby. Sowerby just at the top of his own defensive third. Sowerby over to Barhiguinha. Back to McHugh. McHugh here in the 50th minute. Over to Drew Pearson. Taken away from him as Goldworthy trying to get to it. Now that rolled over onto the near wing as that's grabbed, trying to bring it up. Back there over to O'Gara. O'Gara sends it back onto the far wing for Mayers. Mayers feeds it. That knocked away. Good defensive play back there by Romero, coming ahead with it. Here comes Lima. Lima coming down the far wing into the attacking third. Lima with a shot, and that goes just wide. A couple feet to the near side. And will end up being a goal kick. Good opportunity there.
Kids 13 and under are always playing AFC Ann Arbor matches courtesy of our partners at DTE.
Remember, every goal that AFC Ann Arbor scores are now 6 trees. 3 from AFC Ann Arbor, 3 from DTE, donated to the Ann Arbor Parks and Rec. As that's sent ahead back there by Bellina. Moving over 90 trees so far, collected on 15 goals. As that's brought over, trying to get to it is Barhiguinha. Brought ahead the other direction. Here comes De Hair. De Hair moving into it is Muller with a great job to dive down and pluck it up. Stealing an opportunity away back there from Poros Rodriguez. Back over to McHugh. Beautiful job by Muller. Back over, grabbed by McHugh. McHugh brings it towards the middle third. McHugh now launches it down onto the near wing, racing ahead with it. Pearson trying to get to it. But O'Gara back as that goes out the near touchline. Quick throw in by Ann Arbor as Drew Pearson has it. Drew Pearson moving it over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha trying to get it back. That launch back towards the middle third. That will go out the near touchline. Again, another throw in for Ann Arbor as Direction throws it over to McHugh. McHugh gets over midfield. McHugh trying to move it ahead to Lima. Lima sends it back over onto the far wing to Sowerby. Sowerby now over to Romero. Romero moves it ahead to Lima. Lima coming down the far touchline. Battle for it. Out the far touchline. And that is going to be a free kick. Ann Arbor quickly gets it going, coming down to Pearson. Pearson plays it off the body. That goes out. as that went off of O'Garo. O'Garo goes down holding his head, as he appears to be in some pain down on the pitch, so injury here, as though they'll take a look at him. And now O'Garo able to get up. So we're glad to see he's all right. So good round of applause, good sportsmanship by the AFC Ann Arbor fans. Pearson with the throw-in on the near touchline. Now back, grabbing it, EB over. McHugh trying to avoid pressure coming. That all the way down over to Sowerby on the far touchline. Sowerby rockets it down the far touchline, played down by Mayers. Mayers sends it back into the AFC Ann Arbor side of the middle third, all the way back to Moeller. Moeller avoiding heavy pressure back there now. EB sends it right back to Moeller. Over onto the far wing to McHugh. McHugh coming up the far wing. Here in the 53rd minute, 0-0 is our score on the far touchline. Romero trying to get to it, then sent out the far touchline. A little confusion as to whose throwing it is. That's going to be Ann Arbor's throwing. Sowerby on the far touchline. Sowerby lofts it ahead. That headed back towards the middle of the pitch. Trying to get over there is Romero. And moved over. Here comes Martinez. Martinez trying to cut around. That's stolen away, bringing it ahead. Here comes Michiana. Michiana racing down into the 18. Michiana on the edge of the 18. That moved back over to O'Garo. O'Garo. That is, he was dispossessed, and that rocketed all the way down the near touchline. Goalworthy trying to send it back the other direction, as that's all the way down, and that will go out the end line. That'll be a goal kick. Roberts trying to feed it ahead. That went out the end line. So Ann Arbor with the goal kick. Moeller will get it set on the 6. So we want to thank, again, Units Moving and Storage, the official storage partner of AFC Ann Arbor. Call Units Moving and Storage to help them, have them help you with your storage needs. Visit unitstorage.com. McHugh launches it. Now here comes Direction. Direction trying to play it ahead. Direction trying to get into the far corner, trying to move his way around Ramirez. Direction all the way over. Grab there. Here comes Martinez. Martinez with the shot. Oh, I believe a hand on it by Bellina, and that touched the woodwork. And out. Beautiful shot and opportunity. Looks like that's going to be a goal kick, so then we'll say that did not touch Bellina. He'll get it set out at the 6 and send that away here in the 55th minute. Scoreless so far between these two squads. 0-0. Good opportunity there by Ann Arbor in the last possession. Bellina gets ready to send it away. Right foot into it as that comes into the middle third. Headed up high by the Lions. Trying to get to it is EB and played back. Martinez looking to challenge. Now Goldworthy launches it down the near touchline. That is going to be played. Grabbing it, trying to move it over as Poros is that sent up and grabbed by Moeller. So Poros Rodriguez with an opportunity coming down the near wing, and Moeller, excellent job to grab that and pluck that away. Here comes EB. EB up the near side of the pitch. EB into the middle third. EB looks to his right, moves it back over. Grabbed by McHugh, back over to EB on the near wing. EB coming ahead with it. EB now stops, cuts towards the end line now in the middle of the pitch. EB rolls it back over to McHugh. McHugh now on the far wing, bringing it through the middle third. McHugh arcs it all the way down the far side of the pitch, trying to get to Lima. Lima trying to race ahead with it. Lima with a shot and knocked away. Loose and all the way out the far wing. Good save by Bellina. As Bellina getting in the way, Lima with an excellent opportunity there, but even better goalkeeping. Throw in by AFC Ann Arbor. Trying to move it over to Lima. That knocked away. Good defense back there. Again by Ramirez. Throw in into the far corner as Direction trying to get to it. That will be a goal kick as he couldn't quite get to it before it went out the end line. Here in the 57th minute at Hallway Field, 0-0 is the score. Mayers up the far side of the pitch, moving it over to Roberts. Roberts on the edge of the middle third. Roberts trying to move it over. He goes down as here comes Romero. Romero trying to cut through. He slips and goes down. That played all the way back over to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson has it at the top of the attacking third. Over to Martinez. Martinez trying to cut towards the middle of the pitch. Martinez gets it over. Barhiguinha moving it now all the way over by direction onto the far wing. That launched and over to Drew Pearson just on the end line. Drew Pearson back over to Romero. Romero cuts to his left. Romero trying to dribble through. Back to Drew Pearson on the near wing. Drew Pearson heads up the pitch. Gets it centered up over to Barhiguinha. Barhiguinha with a blast, and that, well, if it was Michigan football, that'd be 3 points, but this would be association football or soccer, so just a little high. 58 minutes here, still scoreless, 0-0. Couple beautiful opportunities for Ann Arbor as they kept some serious pressure. Belina set back. Belina, right foot into it, down onto the near side of the pitch, over midfield, headed back by Pearson, trying to play it down as Martinez. As that went out the near touchline, that will be a throw-in by Ann Arbor here in the 59th minute. Eby over to grab that ball. Now Moeller will get it over to Pearson. Pearson will have it just on the Michiana side of midfield. That played all the way back to Eby. Eby over to McHugh. McHugh up the middle of the pitch, up the middle third. McHugh stops it there. McHugh now over to Romero. Romero back to McHugh. McHugh trying to launch it as he lifts it down the near wing. Pearson coming ahead with it. Pearson trying to get back behind. Pearson heads it over as that's plucked up in the 18 by Belina. Belina has it on the edge of the 18. Belina now calling off for everyone to get a little further down pitch as he puts his right foot into it. And played down back over there by Barhiguian. Barhiguian puts it down the far side of the pitch, and that just a little out of Valencia's reach. Throw in over there by Michiana. So we are in the 60th minute here. 0-0 is the score. As Barhiguinha trying to get to it. That goes out the far touchline. Again, a throw in for the Lions there. Ramirez to throw it in. Tipped back over by Morimoto. Now lofted up high towards midfield. Played down by Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson up the near side of the pitch. Drew Pearson moves it over. Trying to get through traffic is Romero. That's stolen away by DeHare. DeHare lofts it all the way down. That will go out. Well, not off the end line as Mueller will stop it there. Mueller gets it over to McHugh. McHugh brings up the center of the pitch in his own defensive third. McHugh coming over to the far wing. McHugh chips it over. Sowerby back to McHugh. McHugh now over. That grab by Romero. Romero up the middle of the pitch. Romero over to Martinez. Martinez chips it back. Martinez now launches it over onto the far wing. Over on the far touchline to Sowerby. Sowerby up the far touchline, trying to get it over. Now racing ahead with it down the far touchline. Valencia. Valencia trying to work his way past traffic. Valencia stops deep into the attacking third. In and oh, that just went wide as a beautiful head by Direction goes wide to the near post by a few feet. Oh, good opportunity, and Direction ended up coming down hard. I think he might have gotten the wind knocked out of him. He pops back up. He's all right. Might have almost been just frustration as much as anything, as it was a good head, but just a little off target. Belina now ready to send it away. Belina again up the center of the pitch. That rolls over. Back in his own defensive third. Grabbing it is Eby. Eby back over to Mueller. Mueller has it there. Mueller gets it over to McHugh. McHugh brings it up the far wing. McHugh on the edge of the defensive third. Stops there. McHugh heads into the middle third. McHugh rolls it over onto the near wing. That grab by Eby. Eby heads towards midfield. Eby up the near wing. Now EB dribbles to his right, sends it back over to McHugh. McHugh. Now that lofted, racing all the way down onto the far wing. That ends the 18, plucked up there by Belina. So Belina comes out to the edge. Rolls it on the far wing to Mayer. Mayer lofts it all the way down the far touchline. McHugh heads it right back towards midfield. Played down there. Now over onto the near wing to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson brings it over midfield. Drew Pearson. Nice move over to Martinez. Martinez trying to avoid pressure. Two defenders. Martinez sends it up the near touchline. Over to Pearson. Pearson into the attacking third. That knocked away by Goldworthy. Coming up the other direction. That fed right into midfield, grabbing it. Now that lofted, trying to move it over to Ogero. Down the near side of the pitch, trying to get to it, Morimoto. Morimoto. As it Morimoto lofts it. That just a little high for the header. He's trying to get to that was Ramirez, and that just over his head. Out the far touchline here in the 63rd minute. 0-0 between these two squads. Throwing on the far touchline by Sowerby. Sowerby lofts it into the middle third. Headed back over, trying to get to it his direction. Feeds it ahead. Oh, good job to knock it away by Ogero. Played down, direction, trying to get to it through Ogero. Trying to get through midfield as Barhiguinha ended up getting caught up with him. That's going to be a free kick for Michiana. Trying to send everyone back deep. Quickly moving it over to the far side is Roberts. Roberts over to Mayers. Mayers gets it back. Mayers trying to send it down the far touchline, trying to keep it in. That grabbed, and that will be a throw-in on the far touchline. Sowerby over to take the throw-in. Sowerby back over to McHugh. McHugh heads towards the center of the pitch. McHugh now heading up towards the middle third. McHugh slows up just inside the middle third. Over to Romero. Romero launches it down the far touchline, racing ahead with it, trying to get to it down on that far wing. Turning with it is Valencia. That sent out the far touchline. Last touch by Michiana. And it's going to be a throw-in, so Sowerby on the far touchline, well into the attacking third for Ann Arbor. Sowerby lofts it into the 18, trying to get to it. That out the end line. That will be a corner. As Lima to take the corner. Lima ready for this next set piece. Lima raises the right hand. Sends it into the 18. Headed up by McHugh, and that going out. The end line. I'm going to say that was last touched by Michiana, so that's going to be another corner. Lima over there set to take the corner. Raises both hands. Lima. That over. Fired and knocked away. Is a great job finding Valencia, who fired it, but that knocked away by Belina. Now Sowerby trying to loft it into the 18. That goes out the end line. That'll be a goal kick. Here in the 66th minute, still scoreless between these two squads, AFC Ann Arbor and Michiana Lions. Belina. Gets that ball sat on the 6. Looks like substitutions coming in for Ann Arbor. As Benford, as well as Dos Santos. Kyle Pearson in, Dos Santos in, and Benford in. As that ball up the far touchline. Rocketed, trying to play it back, that grab. Trying to bring it to Miramoto, had it. So he goes down on the pitch. That's going to be a kick for the Michiana Lions here in the 67th minute. Scoreless so far. Mayers. Raises his hand. Arcs it all the way down. That headed up. Played over, popped up high by Romero. Now headed back over by Kyle Pearson. Played down. Martinez over onto the near wing to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson moves it over. Grabbed by Romero. Romero trying to move it ahead through traffic. Now coming ahead. Here comes Benford. Benford into the attacking third. Benford trying to get past. That fired, and that goes wide by a foot or two to the far side. Martinez getting an excellent opportunity there. I think that was Martinez. Let me double check. Excuse me, that Kyle Pearson who had an excellent opportunity there. Coming out, that ball set is Belina. Trying to get it set at the 6. It's the Main Street Hooligans trying to get a little come on you mighty oak going. Here in the 69th minute, still scoreless. There's the whistle. Into the middle third, that headed up back over there by Roberts, trying to play it down. Drew Pearson now racing ahead with it. Here comes Michiana. Michiana trying to move it over, knocked away by Lima. Now back ahead, Romero through center. Romero gets it over onto the far wing. DeSantos moves it ahead and trying to get to it. Kyle Pearson. That goes out the far touchline. Good opportunity for Kyle as that'll be a throw-in by DeSantos. DeSantos on the far touchline, lofts it down towards the far side. Played down by Lima. Lima trying to get through traffic. Lima on the far touchline. Lima. Grabbed. Kyle Pearson Benford trying to knock that away. Now Lima down the far touchline. Benford into the far corner. And a slide tackle out on the far touchline. Benford still trying to get it, and he's put down to the pitch. As he's spun down, and the flag goes Michiana's way. Throw in by Michiana, or that's going to be a free kick by Michiana. The officials have a better view than I do. Launched all the way towards the center of the pitch, trying to get to it. Romero. Now over, grabbing it. Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson looks to his right. Drew Pearson over to Romero. Romero on the edge of his own defensive third. Over to McHugh. McHugh brings it up the far wing. McHugh now lofts it all the way back. Racing ahead with it, trying to get to it is Martinez. Martinez on the end line. That goes out. Goal kick. Belina has it and will put it at the 6. Here in the 71st minute, still scoreless between these two squads. Ann Arbor has had some good pressure, especially here in the second half. They haven't been able to cash in as of yet. Both these squads, especially as it becomes later in the game, really want to get that first goal as that's moved back over by Goldworthy. Out the near touchline. Grabbed is Martinez. Will now give it to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson on the near touchline. Drew Pearson. Looking to move it. That back over to Eby. Eby in the middle third. Eby heads towards the center of the pitch. Gets it over to McHugh. McHugh just over midfield. Now that back over by Lima. Back over to McHugh. McHugh. on its own side of the middle third. Over. Grabbed by Eby. Eby over midfield. Eby rockets it down the near touchline, trying to get to it to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson trying to keep it in the near touchline. Valiant attempt. Just couldn't do it. That'll be a throw in for Michiana. As O'Gara with the throw in on the near touchline. Now he'll switch that over. And that's going to be Frank with the throw in. Frank lofts it down. Back into the middle third, headed back over by Romero, trying to get to it. Drew Pearson. Now Drew Pearson ahead, trying to grab that. It's Kyle Pearson, but that lofted all the way back into the defensive third. Moeller will chip it down onto the near wing. Racing over, trying to get to it. That popped up. Now Eby sends it high. Racing over to get it. It's Kyle Pearson trying to come through. Morimoto with it. Now that's sent into the 18. Where that'll be rocketed ahead by Moeller. Played down, racing ahead. Here comes Martinez, and that's sent out the near side of the pitch by O'Gara. As it looked like AFC Ann Arbor had something cooking, but O'Gara, good opportunity to stop that rush. Drew Pearson on the near wing for the throw-in. Drew Pearson back over, Eby with it. Eby moves it over to Romero. Romero going from the near side to the far side. Romero launches it down the far touchline. Is trying to grab that. Dos Santos. And that will be Michiana ball. Mayers and Dos Santos got tangled up. Ball played back over. Benford trying to get to it. And again, Michiana's ball on that. So the Ann Arbor fans let their feelings be known. So AFC Ann Arbor's bench takes a yellow card as they enter into the book for letting their feelings be, sharing their feelings there with the officials. Is that sent Moeller down into the middle third, trying to move it away, that out the near touchline. Thrown over here by O'Gara. O'Gara sent out. That will be Ann Arbor's ball. Drew Pearson on the near touchline, quickly moving ahead. Lima gets it over, trying to come ahead. Martinez on the near touchline. Lima trying to move it out. Goldworthy slides it. That goes out the near touchline. Quick throw in by Drew Pearson. Played down by Martinez. Back to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson trying to bring it down the near touchline, trying to turn on it. Roberts with it. Quick restart by Ann Arbor. Romero all the way over onto the far side of the pitch. Dos Santos trying to get to it. That goes out the far touchline. There'll be a throw in here for Michiana here in the 76th minute. 0-0 is the score. Throw in by Mayer down the far touchline. Trying to pull that away is Benford all the way back. McHugh has in his own defensive third. Over to Moeller. Moeller on the edge of the 18. Moeller over to Eby. Eby up the near wing of his own defensive third. Eby cuts towards the center of the pitch, launching it ahead. That grab now coming ahead with it is Lima. Lima down the far touchline. Over, trying to cut ahead with it was Dos Santos. And that is a free kick, or somehow that went out the far touchline. That is going to be Michiana ball again. The officials obviously have a very different view of things than I do. They're right down on the pitch. There's a collision down, and one of the Michiana players end up down on the pitch. That'll be a free kick just inside the far touchline in the middle third.
Yellow card on AFC Ann Arbor's number 2, Iago
Dos Santos picks up a yellow card. Hands raised as that's chipped into the 18, headed up, and Moeller will grab it on a bounce. Moeller heads the edge of the 18 here in the 78th minute. Still scoreless. Chipped ahead over to Martinez. Martinez trying to get around Goldworthy. Martinez now moves it over. Kyle Pearson. That ball knocked down, and going down, stepping on the ball, and going down was a Michiana player that earns them a free kick. Roberts back to kick it away, calling out signals, getting folks where they want. Now Roberts lofts it. And headed up is Dos Santos, Benford trying to get it down the far touchline. Benford racing ahead with it. Benford gets it into the middle third. Benford trying to bring it ahead. That out the far touchline. Benford calls for the ball, and Lima asking for it, but that's going to be a throw-in, or is it going to be a free kick right on the far touchline? Looks like it's going to be a free kick here in the 79th minute. I believe that's Mayers back to kick it away. Left foot into it. That comes down, headed up by Drew Pearson. Now Martinez plays it back over as trying to get to it. Now Martinez over onto the near side of the pitch. Running down with it. Kyle Pearson down the near touchline. Kyle Pearson trying to get to it before it goes out the touchline. Touch the touchline, and that will be a throw-in for Michiana as we are in the 80th minute. O'Garo with the throw-in on the near touchline in the middle third. O'Garo trying to get it in as that's chipped ahead into the attacking third. Played back over by Eby trying to work his way through that ball into the 18. Off the woodwork and grabbed by Moeller. As Moeller went to get it, as that popped away from him, a shot off the near post. Inches away from Michiana, opening up the scoring here. That's launched back down. Here in the 81st minute, Battleford on the far touchline. As Lima trying to get to it, that out the far touchline. Yellow card on Lima. As Lima into the book. Mayer's back to throw it in. Headed back towards Mayer's, played down direction, trying to get to it. That launched ahead. Here comes Ann Arbor as that shuttle deflected out the end line. Lima with a beautiful opportunity. Here in the 82nd minute, still scoreless. Belina. Getting it set on the 6. Everyone heading up the pitch. Belina back in the goal mouth, ready to send it away. And up the near touchline. Played down by Martinez, trying to get to it. That moved over by Ogaro. Sent back down the far wing, trying to move it is Whale. Down the far touchline, Whale. Trying to launch it into, knocked down by Drew Pearson as they're trying to get it over to a player as that's moved ahead by Ogaro. Launched and knocked up. Headed back over by Drew Pearson. Now Martinez trying to head it up as there's a collision down onto the near touchline. Trying to move it ahead is Roberts. Played down. Roberts launches it all the way into the far corner. That out the far touchline. Here in the 83rd minute. Still scoreless between these two squads. Eby up the near side of the pitch. Eby all the way over on the far wing to McHugh. McHugh into the middle third. McHugh trying to send ahead to direction. That played down. Turning on it. Morimoto. Now that right back over. Chipped down onto the far touchline. Played ahead. McHugh reaches over. Sends it over to Moeller. Moeller in the 18. Moeller. Here in the 84th minute, gets it up to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson brings it into the middle third. Drew Pearson heading towards midfield. Drew Pearson launches it down the pitch. That's headed back by Goldworthy down on the near touchline. As trying to turn on it, Morimoto. And right to midfield, sent right back and out the near touchline. Now be a throw-in. Goldworthy with it on the near touchline. Here in the 84th minute, now that's going to be Ogaro with the throw-in. Played down, moved over, trying to get it over to Roberts. That out the near touchline. Throw in by Martinez, who will now leave it for Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson looks down the pitch. Back over to Drew Pearson, sends it over to Eby. Eby in his defensive third. Eby over to McHugh. McHugh gets back into the middle third, down the far side of the pitch. McHugh trying to feed it ahead over to Lima. Lima ends up down on the pitch. Morimoto ends up down. Lima down moments before. Morimoto down. That is a free kick. All the way down on the far touchline, looking to turn on it. Knocked away by Dos Santos. Here in the 85th minute, still scoreless. That's going to be a corner for Michiana. As over to take the corner is Roberts. So Roberts set up for this next set piece here. So we're in the 86th minute now, still scoreless. Roberts arcs it up as that's headed over the crossbar. Goal kick as Moeller gets it set on the 6. Moeller quickly over to Eby. Eby brings it up the near wing. Eby lofts it all the way down, trying to get over to Kyle Pearson. That brought back. Now moved ahead, played down over there by DeHare. Over onto the near wing, grabbing it, Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson gets it back on the near touchline. Drew Pearson arcs it into the middle third. Kyle Pearson moves it over. That grabbed as that was Whale with it. Now launch back, headed down. Kyle Pearson has it on the edge of the attacking third. Kyle Pearson gets it over to Eby. Eby over to McHugh. McHugh in the 18. McHugh stops it here in the 87th minute. McHugh brings it up the far wing. McHugh, that grabbed, sent back, and now launched down on the near touchline. Kyle Pearson, that goes out the near touchline. Throw in here by Ogaro. So we have 3 minutes, 30 seconds left before stoppage time. Now Goldworthy with a quick throw in down the near touchline. That headed up, trying to get to it. Romero. DeHare ends up down on the pitch. Tangled up by Romero. Roberts set to kick it away. Is in a spot of menace. Roberts back. Mayers right next to him. Now Mayers to take the kick, left-footed kick that headed up and over the crossbar. Here in the 88th minute, still scoreless. Ball set on the 6, moved over. Eby up the pitch, Eby. All the way over onto the far wing, brought up by McHugh. McHugh rolls it ahead, direction over onto the far touchline for DeSantos. DeSantos back over to McHugh. McHugh launches it into the 18 for Moeller. Moeller now with it on the edge of the 18 as we approach the 89th minute. McHugh ahead with it. McHugh lofts it ahead, racing back to get it. That into the 18, plucked up there by Bellina. We are now in the 89th minute at Hallway Field, still scoreless between AFC Ann Arbor and Michiana. Bellina rockets it ahead down into the middle, third, and that is a big, DeSantos is, Miramoto was down as DeSantos and Miramoto going for the ball, and DeSantos ended up colliding heavily with Miramoto. We hope Miramoto's okay. I think that's a red card on DeSantos. So DeSantos off on a red card. So we don't want to see any of these players injured. Love everyone playing a good, hard game. So now it's, well, we really hope that Miramoto is all right as he is being attended to. He is down face first on the pitch, as that was a huge collision between the two players. Miramoto now sitting up. We are so grateful to see that as he's to his knees. You got to assume that there may well be a concussion test or something of some kind. As they continue to work on him. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I won't even guess. So we're approaching stoppage time now, so we will have plenty of stoppage time between these two squads, and AFC Ann Arbor will play the remainder of the game with 10 players due to the red card. So 10 players versus 11. We are now in stoppage time. Miramoto coming off. Good round of applause by all of the fans. You don't want to see any of these players injured. So I love that sportsmanship. Always clapping for the players when they get up when injured. Miramoto very slow to come off the pitch as he will now head over to the sideline. We are in stoppage time now. Goldworthy now set. Looks like a sub coming in. I'll see if I can get number. It looks like number 1, but I don't have that on my roster. 19 out there, and I haven't had that on my roster yet. That really looks like a number 1. But number 1, I don't have that on my roster. So another Michiana player in. And ball set to kick away. Right hand raised. Now that ball sent all the way down, headed up, and now moved over onto the near wing, headed back out the near No, not out the near touchline grab. Now trying to dribble ahead with it. Here comes Michiana looking for a cross. That goes out. And it's going to be a throw-in for Michiana. Deep in the attacking third here in stoppage time. O'Garo for the throw-in. O'Garo deep in the attacking third, looking to get a throw-in. That move back to O'Garo, and offside the call. And we'll be back to AFC Ann Arbor. Ball set. I believe that's EB who's going to kick it away. Back over to Moeller. Moeller. Ahead. So Garrow picked up a yellow card. That ball all the way back. Over onto the near wing, and almost. Drew Pearson almost had it, and it just slipped past him as he couldn't quite make the adjustment to get to that ball. Over to EB. EB moves it over to Kyle Pearson. Back over to Romero. Romero on his own side of midfield. Romero lofts it high into the attacking third. Headed back the other direction. Played down by Lima. Kyle Pearson trying to get to it on the near wing. Kyle Pearson down the near touchline. Kyle Pearson stops there. Feeds it as that's knocked away back there. Coming ahead with it, Michiana. Down into the center of the pitch. That grab coming ahead with it. Launched and deflected down, popped up the other direction by McHugh. Quickly played down, grabbed. Michiana trying to come back onto it, feeds it all the way down onto the far wing. Good job to grab that by Benford. Benford trying to move over. Benford down the far touchline. Benford, that played down right at midfield. Benford sliding, trying to get to it. That picked up. Here comes Michiana. Romero pokes it out the far touchline. Again, we are in stoppage time here. Michiana trying to move it ahead, stolen away. Now coming ahead with it. Here comes Benford. Benford chips it all the way back into the far corner. Trying to turn on it. That rocketed back and just over Drew Pearson on the near wing. Still in stoppage time here. Ball lofted up. EB trying to get to it. EB launches it all the way back as Moeller will grab it just outside the 18. Moeller over to McHugh. McHugh arcs it ahead, racing over. Lima trying to get to it. That headed back over onto the far wing by Goldworthy. Down the far touchline. That deflects back and out. And will be a goal kick as Bellina will have it at the edge of the 6. Here in stoppage time, still scoreless between these two squads. Bellina in no hurry, gets it set at the 6. Bellina right foot into it, coming down, headed up by Drew Pearson. Over onto the far wing, here comes Benford. Benford down on that far wing, trying to feed it ahead. Benford ends up down on the pitch. So Estrada in. That's who number 1 is. Sam is number 5. That's all right. So long as I know, that's all that matters. And knocked away. Good job by Bellino. There's another shot that's grabbed by Bellino. As Cal Pearson, a blast from the top of the attacking third. And that is it. There's the whistles, and it ends up in a scoreless draw between these two teams as a hard-fought game. Michiana with their first points as they have lost every game up until then. So Michiana happy to come away with points from that match. Final score in this USL2 match between your AFC Ann Arbor versus Michiana Lions. It is 0-0, a scoreless draw between the two. Remember, tomorrow it will be the women's opportunity at 3 o'clock as they will take on Midwest United. We would love to see you here, 3 p.m. game, so check that out. Our broadcast will start 15 minutes beforehand. Thank you very much to my camera people, Megan Wiseman and James Wiseman. I also want to thank Mike Butler, our director. My name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you very, very much. We'll be back tomorrow for the women's squad. Take care and have a great night, everybody.